Hello students, in this class we are going to finish the exercise of the chapter number 2, constitutional design. The first question: here are some false statements. Identify the mistake in each case and rewrite this correctly based on what you have read in this chapter. Okay, some statements are given here and they are incorrect. Okay, you have to correct them and rewrite. The first: leaders of the freedom movement had an open mind about whether the country should be democratic or not after independence. The correct statement is: the leader of the freedom movement had an open mind about the country being democratic after independence. There is no other option, and democratic or not, that is not true. They are struggling because of they want a democratic country. Next, members of the Constituent Assembly of India held the same views on all provision of the Constitution. Okay, members of the Constituent Assembly worked in a systematic, open and consensual manner to resolve difference among them. The views of the Constituent Assembly, the members of the Assembly are not same in all the provisions. They work as it needed. Okay, like systematic, open and consensual. Next, a country that has constitution must be a democracy. No, that is not correct. It is not necessary that a country having a constitution must be democracy. The constitution of a country can even make provisions for dictatorship or monarchy. Example: the Soviet Union and Pakistan. Okay, if a country have a constitution, that not means that country is democratic. A dictatorship or a monarchy government system also may have constitution, like Soviet Union and Pakistan. Next statement is constitution cannot be amended because it is the supreme law of the country. No, this is not right, because the constitution must be amended to keep it updated. Okay, a constitution can be amended to keep up with the changes in aspirations of the society. It can also be changed keeping in mind in social, political and economic conditions of the country. Next, which of these was the most salient underlying conflict in the making of a democratic constitution in South Africa? Which conflict is the main subject of the constitution of South Africa? That is, the answer is between the white majority and the black majority. That is the answer. This is the major conflict in South Africa. Next, which of these is a provision that a democratic constitution does not have? Some provisions are given here, and which one is not a subject of democratic constitution? The answer is power of the head of the state. That is not a provision of the democratic constitution. Sorry. The answer is name of the head of the state. That is not the provision of the democratic constitution. Match the following leaders with their roles in the making of the constitution. Okay, some name of leaders are given here, and their role in making constitution also given here. Motilal Nehru prepared a constitution for India in 1928. Motilal Nehru he prepared a constitution in that year. B.R. Ambedkar. B.R. Ambedkar is the chairman of the drafting committee. We all know. Rajendra Prasad. Rajendra Prasad is the president of the Constituent Assembly. Sarojini Naidu. Sarojini Naidu is the member of the Constituent Assembly. Okay. Read again the extract from Nehru's speech, Tryst with Destiny, and write the following. Okay. Why did Nehru use the expression not wholly or in not full measure in the first sentence? Okay, the answer is uh, the expression not wholly or in full measure in the first sentence was used by Nehru because he thought that the task they had undertaken was incomplete and it was not and it wasn't possible to fulfill the pleas all at once but would be gradually fulfilled. Uh, the phrase not wholly or not in full measure, that means um, the work or the vision they take, it is not fully effective or not fully completed, it is incomplete. Okay, and those visions or works or tasks are not fulfilled at once. It is not work like that, it fulfilled gradually. So he used the term not wholly or not in full measure. Next, what pledge does he want the makers of the Indian Constitution to take? The pledge that he wanted the makers of the Indian Constitution to take was to dedicate their lives to the service of India, Indians, and humanity at large. The main pledge that he wanted from those who make the Constitution is their dedication to our country, to the Indians and the humanity. The ambition of the greatest man of our generation has been to wipe every tear from every eye. Who was he referred to? He was referring to Mahatma Gandhi. Next, here are some of the guiding values of the Constitution and their meaning. Rewrite them by matching them correctly. Okay, some guiding values are given here, and you have to match their meaning. Sovereign means people have the supreme right to make decision. Republic means head of the state is an elected person. Fraternity means people should live like brothers and sisters. Secular means government will not favor any religion. We all know, we all are discussed about it. Sorry. How did your school celebrate the Constitution? The Constitution Day on November 26th. Prepare a brief report. Okay, do it by yourself. Um, Here are different opinions about what made India a democracy. How much importance would you give to each of these factors? Okay, some facts are given here, and the fact is about what made India a democracy. What the factors that made India a democracy? We are discuss about this factors, and the first is democracy in India is a gift of British rulers. We received training to work with representative legislative institutions under British rule. No, that is not correct. We do not experience any legislative and institution from British rulers. Though I would acknowledge many good things were learned from British rulers, and democracy being one of them. I would not say that democracy was a gift given by them. That is not democracy is not given by the British ruler, because Indians have to struggle very much, and they have to undergo with many circumstances as to achieve this democracy. And uh, during this struggle they experience and training in working of the legislative institution. Okay, next, freedom struggle challenged the colonial exploitation and and denial of different freedom of India. Free India could not be anything but democratic. Yes, so we fully agreed with that. Yes, free India could not be anything but democratic. Okay, that is the main vision of our freedom fighter. Okay, because in the free India, the all peoples are same, treated as same. Okay, because the people had already suffered a lot under British rule. This made them realize that for people to have uh, a say in ruling the country, it was necessary to make India a democratic country. After a long suppression of British rulers, it is a must for Indians to make the India a democratic country. Next, we were lucky to have leaders who had democratic convictions. The denial of democracy in several other newly independent countries shows the important role of these leaders. It is true that with the experience, or sorry, with the mentality of democracy in our leaders help India to make it democratic. Okay, it is indeed true that we were lucky to have leaders who had deep democratic values. It is because of these ideals that India's freedom struggle can be considered as the only example of a bloodless freedom struggle in contemporary history. Therefore, absence of such ideals has made many countries undemocratic. Next, read the following extract from the conduct book for married women published in 1912. God has made the female species delicate and fragile both physically and emotionally, pitiably incapable of self-defense. They are destined thus by God to remain in male protection of the father, husband, and son all their lives. Women should therefore not despair, but feel obliged that they can dedicate themselves to the service of men. Do you think the values expressed in this para reflected the values underlying our constitution, or does this go against the constitutional values? Okay, an extract from Married Women, a book, is given here. After reading this paragraph, uh, you have to told that is it this idea goes with our constitution or not. The given paragraph does not reflect the underlying value in our constitution. It reflects to the patriarchal views and endorses the thought of inequality in gender. Okay, in that paragraph, okay, it goes against the constitutional values because in the paragraph women are shown as inferior, unequal, as weak and fragile, who should have served man. However, the Constitution has provided equal rights to women. They enjoy the right to vote, they can take up any job, and are paid equal wages for the same work. According to our Constitution, there are equality among genders. Okay, the facilities that a man enjoys, a a woman can also enjoy those facilities, like they they can vote, they can do any job, and they are paid equal wages for the man for the same work. Next, read the following statement about constitution. Give reasons why each of these is true or not true. Okay, some statements are given here and you have to consider it as true or not true, and why. The authority of the rules of the constitution is the same as any other law. No, that is not true. An ordinary law is passed by the parliament, can be changed by it on its own will. On the other hand, the rules of the constitution have greater authority and the parliament has to abide by them. For amending these rules, a special procedure has to be adopted. A, a normal rule, a normal law is not as the same that is given in the constitution. There are many procedure to amend the laws of in constitution. Next, constitution lays down how different organs of the government will be formed. Yes, it is true. The constitution has laid down the framework for the government formation. It has put in place the structure, power, uh, and functions of the three organs of the government, that is executive, legislative, and the judiciary. There is a exact instruction that the how the executive or legislative or the judiciary system formed. Next, rights of citizens and limits on the power of the government are laid down in the constitution. Yes, it is true. The rights of the citizens and are laid down in the constitution as fundamental rights, which are enforceable by law. The powers and functions of the government are divided into the executive, legislative, and judiciary. It is done to keep each organ under check by other organs to ensure the power functioning of the government. Next, a constitution is about institutions, not about values. No, that is not true, because it is all about values, and also after values the institutions come. The constitution is the supreme law of the country. It lays down the competition, powers, and functions of the various institutions of government. The constitution is guided by values which are found in the form of preamble, principle, and values such as equality, liberty, fraternity, brotherhood, secularism, and justice are included in the preamble of the constitution. Okay, these are some values that is the base of the constitution. Upon them the whole constitution stands, and and after considering these values, any laws are written. So they are the main values. Okay, that is the end of this chapter. Prepare for your unit test. Good luck.